The 1,000 years have ended, and the clock of eternity strikes a new hour. The New Jerusalem, the city of God, descends through the clouds like a bride adorned for her husband. But as the city touches the earth, the silence of a millennium is broken. The rest of the dead are called from their graves, and for a brief, sobering moment, every human who has ever lived stands upon the same planet at the same time. Revelation 21 verse 2 says, I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And Revelation chapter 20 verse 7 and 8 say, Now when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations which are on the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, whose number is as the sand of the sea. Satan is loosed from his prison of silence, with a world full of people to deceive once more. He rallies the nations for one final desperate stand. He points to the radiant gates of the city and convinces the lost that they can take it by force. As the vast army of the resurrected wicked surround the home of the saints, the final heartbeat of rebellion begins to pulse. Revelation 20 verse 9 says that they went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. Verse 10 says, the devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are. And then verse 14 says that death and the grave were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. This is the moment of finality. Fire descends from God out of heaven, not a fire of eternal torment, but a fire of total purification. This is the moment the elements melt with a fervent heat. Every trace of sin, every root of evil, and the enemy himself are consumed. The earth isn't just destroyed, it is laundered. The old world of graves and scars is wiped away forever. The Bible says in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 that the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with a fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Revelation 21 verse 5 says, Then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. There is a city with gates that never close, and a king whose arms are always open. Choose your citizenship today. Don't be on the outside looking in when the fire of peace does its work. Let God melt the pride out of your heart today, so you can walk through those gates tomorrow. The invitation is yours. Will you go? We have seen the end of the journey, a world made new. It is a vision of hope that the heart longs for. But how do we know this isn't just a beautiful dream? How can we be certain that the Bible is an absolute mathematical certainty? To find that anchor, we have to leave the future and step into the past. We have to look at a dream given to a king thousands of years ago, a dream that outlined the rise and fall of every major empire before they ever existed. If the Bible got the history of the world right, we can trust it with our eternity. Join me for our next study, the metal monolith, as we decode the dream of Daniel 2 and prove that history is truly his story.